Hello. I hope things are going well with everybody and with these microphones. I'm back to give a little commentary, and I'm sitting cross-legged on the floor again. This has been my lifestyle ever since I was a kid. I love sitting cross-legged on the floor, 25 or 6 to 4. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I wanted to just try to touch base a little bit about this film and try to inspire people to go see it. The Harvest film, Harvest from Neil Young. And this was made during the recording of the Harvest album, 1971, maybe some of 1972 in there. And Diane and I went to go see it last night at one of our favorite theaters. And it was very intimate. We have not been, I maybe one movie since COVID has happened. We've been to some concerts, but I mean, we have, sadly had to cut back for a lot of different reasons. And so we were there. We missed the Doors film a year ago. That was something I really wish I would have went in a bubble suit or something, to go see. It was a one night thing, and they played the Hollywood Bowl remastered. That was the first Doors album that I bought, EP, Hollywood Bowl cassette. I think I was 12, and I missed that. So anyway, we had to go to this, and it's playing again Sunday for encore at select theaters. And I strongly suggest anyone go see this if you want to learn more about Neil Young and a lot of music that he's connected to. Go see this, And if you know Neil Young in music and in your life, go see it. It's an intense thing, and I'm not going to spell out all my thoughts about it or try to ruin other people's interpretations totally with what I say here. I just want to put out a couple things that I'm really touched by. And being a lifelong Neil Young fan since I was a kid, yeah, he was one of the first people that I started to recognize, as a young person, little kid, as a really unique voice. And honestly, I got him mixed up with the Eagles as a kid. There were just so many songs that I had to actually ask my parents. You're talking about a 4 or 5 year old kid, 6-year-old kid. Is this, this person, or is that, So over time, I got to differentiate things and understand things more. There's a lot of stories like that I'll share over time. But I've seen Neil many times. I would love to go through my whole personal geek boy history on my love of Neil Young. We don't have time here. Most people don't have interest, but I've seen him many times in Detroit and around Detroit, and in solo form with groups, Crazy Horse, Booker T and the MGs. And there's been shows that I missed I really wish I could have been to. Like there was the tour where he had an artist painting on the stage. I really feel like, that was one thing. God, I would have done it for free, that would have been amazing, So it was so beautiful to see the film. What can I say in terms of seeing the collaboration, the honesty of it, a collaboration, such honesty to the music, to the words, to the poetry of it, to the freeform art of it, staying connected to the heart thread. It was just, and the fact that he held on to this for 50 years till now. I mean, this man's in the groups and just what he's involved with, the magic of that. That's it coming through with his film. And you can see it Sunday at select theaters. Please go see it. But again, seeing all of them so connected, and also, Stills and Nash chiming in, and Crosby at different points. So that was just so beautiful to see them all there, in such a natural state, just chilling and having a good time. I mean, I fought for 12 and a half years, 13 years, and it just ended in August a few months ago form of medical marijuana rights as a parent here in Michigan, and went through the fucking meat grinder with my family, my kids, and my art, my career, and to see people get together like him and Crazy Horse and the various people involved and other people, it was beautiful, and in a lot of ways you can't do that anymore. But my generation, the Gen X generation, I love and I still have hope for. But a lot of us and a lot of other people around us, just didn't, I think, follow through, and like I've talked about Jack White a lot, and Jack White is, got with Neil on some projects and on YouTube and stuff, and that's really been, oh my God, because that is not Jack White. You watch Harvest. I know Jack White's got some place down in Tennessee or something, and he used some of us, as an excuse for going there and leaving Detroit. But that Harvest is not Jack White. Hanging around. My best example or thing would be like, okay, maybe a group of vampires staring at you from a corner of your favorite store, snickering at you. I don't know. I don't see Harvest that way. The Jack White story, I see that way. And I have nothing against Meg White. She's been a very nice person in a few times, and giving creative advice as well, a helpful person. So and I heard, I don't want to put down her efforts with the White Stripes, and there's a lot of the White Stripes music I do love. But the attitude that you get from Jack is really bad. And to see him with Neil Young during one video where he got him into a thing, got him to record some songs, got Neil Young to record, I was just like, oh man, but the Harvest film shows, man, people hanging out, smoking a doobie. You couldn't do that around Jack White, per se. You see a lot of doobies, you see a lot of drinking. You see, I don't even hardly drink anymore. I'm not even pushing that as like what you have to do, but it was being real. That's the way I grew up. That was my family. We were Detroit auto family workers, I grew up with a hippie generation, a bit younger than Neil, but that was part of the scene. And it was, and all, their siblings, my aunts, uncles, friends of the family. We had deep experiences. All the Bob Seger albums came out. That was our life story. I know every one as they came out, from the time I was born, at least. And I believe Bob Seger was even in our family TV radio shop there in Lincoln Park. He lived there for a little while. But, it's this Harvest film really gets to me, to the heart of artistic endeavor. It's staying true to what feels right to you, staying true in general to your friends as well, supporting your friends, being honest. And, there is a commercial aspect to any art form, even if you're basket weaving. It's just to what extent it goes. And I feel like Harvest is a perfect balance, shows the balance of what you can do. And he's come up with environmentally friendly cars. He's done amazing things. His radio project and the clean sound, and so many fronts. He's really been head on, and saving the earth. That's been huge to me. I haven't found hardly any support from a lot of Detroiters, Southeast Michiganders, and Michiganders on that aspect. We're considered terrorists for being environmentalists, and in a lot of ways. So that I'll go into in more um, posts over time. But in general, I would just say, Neil has been there. His band has been there. There's so much awesome jamming in the film. There's jamming that goes on that it's just purely, something that happens spontaneously, and it's not really part of a song per se, And that's on there, stuff I've never heard before sometimes. And, beautiful version of, Heart of Gold, which is just raw, beautiful, and Old Man, and just some really awesome outtakes and build-ups. You really get a sense of how hard he's working at this. He's staying true to get something that's out there, something that's going to be made tangible. As one of my great artist teacher friends from Detroit, Dennis Galfy, would say all the time to us, that guy got let out of CCS in handcuffs. The dude was a real fucking deal, man. His dad was killed by the Nazis. His mom was killed in Detroit. Oh man, that guy was a martyr. And so much I'd like to say about Dennis. I've got his work up on the wall the other way. I'll show you at some point. But Neil Young had a really intense connection with Detroit too, and I've always been enamored by that and sought it out and wanted to know more about it. And like Old Laughing Lady, he said at a concert once, he wrote on Livernois and some cross street, which I wish I could remember what cross street. Hopefully he'll say it again sometime. But he lived here with Rick James in Detroit, and they had a band, the Minor Birds, and that was an awesome band. You can hear their music on YouTube. Amazing here for free, or premium. You can get a lot of stuff without commercials. But he has an intense Detroit connection, and Joni Mitchell does, and so many people, that you wouldn't realize. And so I've always really appreciated him on so many levels. His solo album is so deep and textured. It goes through so many colors, and not something easily, I think, digestible by some people, especially at first. But boy, I've listened to that so many times, and every one of his albums. I could go on and on about concerts and things and experiences. But again, like the Harvest film is just a go see. You must see. Essential film, worth taking, your precautions. We had our masks on, and I forgot my sanitizer. That sucked. I've always got sanitizer on me. But, it was comfortable where we went. There wasn't like a ton of people in general at the place. So that helped in general. So, and if you can see, this one piece up on the wall here behind me is a piece by my mother on the left. She makes really beautiful craft seasonal pieces. And it's a cardinal going into a birdhouse there. She just made that. I just hung that last night, and had some really cool tripped out red lights on it and everything. Our family really gets into all the seasons, and all the family are artists, and we all love Neil Young. So anyway, go see the film. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. God bless everybody. Peace. Peace. Peace.